That's everything.
Hello YouTube, my name is Bizzleberry, Master Support, and today we are doing a coaching session for Satisfied Jelly in Bronze 2. She is playing Soraka. Enjoy.
Oh, is that it, Nerdy? You're not going to do the whole coaching session for me? That's a shame. I thought I was going to have a 30-minute break there, Nerdy. Hey guys, I've got a coaching session for you. Soraka in Bronze 2 on the North American servers. It's Jinx Soraka versus Jin Zyra. One of the things that I'm interested about is the exhaust that you've got on the Soraka. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You could use it just before the Jin uses his 4th shot to effectively take out a decent amount of his damage. But to get close enough to do that, that does put you quite vulnerable to the Zyra. Generally, having barrier on Soraka, or having even a heal on Soraka and making the AD go barrier is generally better just for lane sustain. You might be able to get a couple of baits there as well. They're going to be pretty aggressive on the bot side. There's a lot of poke harassment there as well. So that's something to bear in mind. Other than that, I think you need to slowly ramp up the game. Try and use the Jinx trap. So say if the Jinx gets a trap on someone, for example, immediately put silence over. Thank you. There should be quite a bit of damage there. But you're going to have to be careful of a lot of things on the bot side though, with the roots and the Jin W. If you make one misstep, that's going to be a lot of damage, and you won't obviously be able to heal yourself as Soraka, so got to be careful. Zyra could be prone to Q harassment, as she will be trying to harass you. But that's as far as you can do, really, and you just got to be careful. There's a lot of things you need to be careful of. You need to be careful of the roots, the Jin W, the Q minion bounce as well. Yeah, that's another way you're going to take free damage as well. Overall, this lane phase is going to be particularly tricky, and you need to be keeping an eye on the game quite a bit here. In terms of the enemy jungler, it is an Udyr with Ghost. It's not too dangerous. You should be able to slow them down. There's no gap closer there, and you won't be able to flash over your Q or your silence, so you might be able to slow him from getting into a team fight, into ganking you in the lane at least anyway. Okay, let's see how it goes. Okay, start off. Okay, one thing I'll suggest here already is, yes, most of the time spell thieves on Soraka is fine. I personally would be a little bit concerned about what you're playing against here. With the amount of poke and harassment on that enemy team, I would be more inclined to go coin. Coin would be perfectly fine to take here as well. Just because you don't want to get caught out by that massive double harassment that they've got there. Just one misstep from you being eager to harass is going to be probably going to be one of your summoners at the very least.
Minions have spawned.
I'm not sure really what's happening here. It's a shame you missed your Q. Okay, this Warwick is going to die. I think you have to leave this now. There's no point in exhausting a Garen when he's like not doing anything. And the whole team's going to collapse on you as well. And this is extremely messy. Yeah. Yeah, you die for that as well. I think you just had to accept the fact that the Warwick was it was being extremely random there. And you had no, like, as soon as the Warwick was about to die, you should have just ran away and not put yourself in under risk here. So Warwick loses his blue buff. This was extremely random, and now you're extremely far behind in terms of money and XP. Zyra got 2 kills there as well. So you're pretty far behind right now. And Warwick is dead again, and Zyra's got another kill. Yeah, this is an already really brutal game. The best thing the best advice I can suggest from watching this is, yes, the Zyra has 3 kills right now, but she hasn't gone back to buy yet. That's like the most important thing here. It depends on what you do from now until she goes back and buys. Because she's got, how much money she got? She's got 1,200 gold in her pocket already at level 2. Your job is your main concern is to her to not go back and buy. You want to delay that as long as possible. That's the best advice I can give you in this situation. Seems like you may be talking in chat. That's a big no-no. Just try do your best to keep up the harassment. And as I said, you want to keep them in the lane as long as possible. So if that means like freezing the lane, then yeah, do that. You can't be standing at the back here AFK though. You need to be a little bit more active with your Q, especially because you've got the blue starting item. So you need to be a little bit more active there as well. Nothing really else to note here. Just keep the lane phase going as long as possible. You need to try and do harassment as best as you can. That's the nature of the blue trinket, of the blue starting item. If you had just gone coin, then it would be less important. Yeah, just keep the lane frozen like this, and then they always have to keep trying to push in. That blue buff should come off Zara at some point. You are landing your spells pretty regularly when you are firing them out. Just want to see it come out a little bit more often. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know how you ended up in that position there. I like you're stepping over that seed there. Yeah, at that point you just want to keep running up because you can see the Zara coming in. If she lands the root on you, you're going to take a fair amount of damage here. Yeah, you're getting really close there. This is like an extremely easy route here for Zyra if she goes for it. She opts to go Q and you're very, very lucky. If that had been an E, the route there, you would have... Considering you've got no summoners, I think you would have died. Or it would have been extremely close. Jin had no mana, so maybe you wouldn't have died, but you would have been on like 20% HP for sure. Just stay back, do your harassment as best as you can. Decent. What are you leveling up first? You're putting 2 points in Q. I personally wouldn't put any more than that. I'd like to see a couple more points in E. Generally though, you're playing the lane phase okay. It's not perfect, but it could be a lot worse considering the situation you're in right now. Just be careful about your mana at this point though. But as I said, you just should keep them in the lane as long as possible. Now you got caught, now you need to have your E as a backup. You want to, like, immediately as soon as you get caught, just try and silence as many of them as you can. Prevent them from coming into you. That just needs to be a little bit quicker. If that Jhin is genuinely recalling there, just let him, I think. Because it's a really bad recall from him. Nice harassment though that you do hit 2 of them there. You want to push this in as quickly as how as possible to basically punish the fact that they're recalling really badly. They're going to lose minions here. I think you're going to have to recall at this stage. You're making the right call here to recall, and I think you just continue recalling and just let the Jinx on her own. Yeah, I think that's absolutely perfect recall there. You realise you do need to go back at that point, and the Jinx should have recalled earlier. Okay, and the Jinx actually luckily managed to get away too. That wouldn't have been your fault if she got caught there at all. Right, you go Frostfang, you go Ruby Crystal, and Boots. If that's a Ruby Crystal towards Redemption, that would be okay. Or if that's a Ruby Crystal to upgrade your GP5, it might be slightly early, but it's not the end of the world. Right, your team gets an Ocean Drake quite early, it's quite nice. Also, Udyr found the Warwick found the Udyr in your jungle, which is pretty cool too. You could make a play here. If the Warwick was 6, that could have been really nice, and you just pop the silence over just as the Warwick ulti's about to end, and then so he could put the Jhin can't flash out. That would have been quite cool, but yeah, it's a shame he's not 6 yet. So far your team's handled the bad level 1 situation kind of respectively. It's been kind of decent from your team so far. You're gonna have to respect the Zyra's damage quite a bit now. Now she's managed to buy and spend all of that money. She's got 2 tomes and some boots. So it's gonna be a hefty amount of damage coming out. So just keep your distance, do max range harassment like that, perfect. I wasn't watching the Udyr coming down into the lane either there. I think he had some indication in of the ward there as well. Yeah, the Udyr manages to come down from the ward from here, and then the ward from here as well. So you weren't watching the minimap at all there because Udyr got shown twice before he made it down to bot lane. Good straight flash though. Considering you weren't watching the minimap and that was kind of a surprise to you, it was good instant flash there. Because if you did get stunned there, the Zyra would have just easily had followed up with CC and you definitely would have died there. It's just a shame obviously that you didn't see the situation anyway. You have no flash and you're like walking into them like blind there. That's a big no-no. Absolutely big no-no. You cannot be in the front here. You're probably going to die from that now. Try and dodge that. Just do your best. It's kind of random. Unlucky. What? What did I just witness? Okay. Okay. Let's analyze everything here. Firstly, you're way too far ahead here. You should have definitely have died here. Zyra had E. All she had to do was E, Ignite, and also E overlay. And you would have been popped there straight away. You would have been dead straight away. Okay. So the enemy played that really, really badly here. Now what you could have done here actually is if you stood behind the Jinx here, tried to stand behind the Jinx here and just use a heal on her, and then you might be able to out tank the Jhin shots like that maybe. It would be a little bit of a gamble. Jeez. Yeah, and you can't walk back in. You've got literal no HP. You can't walk back into this. You keep, as soon as you get away in that situation, you run. You have no right to be in lane with 68 HP still. Yeah, and you're punished for that. Okay, you go back and you've got Tome and a Ruby Crystal. To me that makes no sense, because if you wanted to go Ardent Sensor, that doesn't require a Ruby Crystal. Personally, I would consider getting level 2 boots earlier so you can dodge these skill shots that are going to be coming out of the Jhin and the Zyra. Gives you a little bit more movement speed as well to get away from the Udyr as well, ever so slightly as well. I think the most important thing though is dodging the skill shots, and even later on you're going to be coming across Velcots as well. I think getting like the CDR boots or even Merc Treads here is perfectly fine. Merc Treads, you've got a decent argument here to go Merc Treads. CC, decent amount of magic damage on 3 of them as well. So Merc Treads or CDR boots here, whatever you prefer. Merc Treads is probably the correct answer here though. Big no-no again, just by the way. You face checking here. Especially after you see these seeds here, you know that Zara's somewhere here in this lane. You face checking that Zara could easily be waiting here with a ward here, and then you could get like destroyed, basically. This is a massive face check you're doing here for no reason. There's no reason for you to be... Wait, what is going on? I'm not sure what you were doing there at all. You have no right to be that far ahead up in lane. I'm not sure what your game plan there was. There's not a lot you can do here. You've already used everything. So shit, you kind of needed to prioritize the slow on Jhin there, so that he may have not been able to get anything else there on the Jinx. But that all sort of stemmed from you overextending like crazy. Once again, you cannot do this. You cannot harass. She's going to take that control ward no matter what. There's no point putting yourself under any more risk here. That is incredibly risky. Once again, you're by yourself here all alone. Just be very, very, very careful here. You can stay here kind of because the minion wave's quite low. You can stay here. Just be careful. Tier 2 boots again would help here as well to help dodge skill shots. Maybe you're overextending over here to pop the seeds, I'm not sure, but it totally wasn't worth it. Warwick's coming down now. Don't make it too obvious though. Don't, as soon as Warwick pings like down, don't just start sprinting at them and make it super obvious that there's someone going to come down for a gank though. You need to be careful about doing that. Because if they've got no wards, then it's like a big giveaway. Good gank though. Because once again, there's not a whole lot you could have done there in that situation. That fight happened too far away from you really. Good ward clearing here as well. If you've got a spare ward, which I can't tell from this, it would be worth putting a ward into this brush here as well while you're here. Coming over here. If you've got a spare ward, put it here. And you're clearing out that controlled as well, that's good. It's definitely good that you're prioritizing ward clearing here over getting the tower. It is worth getting 3 hits on the tower here though, just to get 60 more gold, if you're able to. So you should definitely do that. Speed this up a little bit, that's nothing to see here. It's a really good free tower there actually as well. Rotating to mid here. This could be quite decent. That's an extremely bad silence, so that's very unlucky. Yeah. It's a shame. That could have worked out a little bit better actually. I think you had the right idea there. I'll watch the whole of that play actually. Because you nearly got the control there. I think... I don't watch it properly here because... Yeah, you... When Lux is higher up here, you have to go straight through this brush here. Because otherwise it takes too long to get to this position here. So you should have just ran straight through this line here. If the Lux was further back, like around about here, then you'd want to come around and try and surprise around the backside a little bit more. But when she's that deep, just go straight through in the middle here. Yeah, that silence was way off. But I don't think that would have changed anything there. Ideally, you probably would have rather have done a Q first and then a silence, and then maybe they would be stuck in it for the root afterwards. But, I mean, yeah, it's just a shame you didn't come through the middle here, and I'm not sure you would have got the kill anyway. I think she would have got away anyway. I mean, Lux still has flash up anyway, so... It was a nice intention from you though, but you got to go back soon though, because you need to start buying your own wards and things again. Yeah. If you had a spare ward here, you'd put it in the mid lane here as well, so you could see the Vel'Koz could help see the Lux sniping as well from the Fog of War. Wait, let's go back in time. There's a big fight here happening. Yeah, you can't. Your whole team. Okay. Sorry, the Pantheon's just altered in. It's really hard to know what to do in this situation because there are a couple of targets super low. I think you need to do something to the Udyr straight away because he's the most fed. I think this is worth flashing for and then silencing over. You want to follow up? Here. Yeah. Okay, he gets the kill anyway. I think that would have been worth flashing for and silencing. Just to make sure that Udyr didn't die. Now here is not a good chase. Yeah, because this was a really tricky thing here because there's 3 different situations here that are happening at the same time. You've got Jinx coming up from bot side. I would have not used exhaust. I would have definitely flashed the Udyr though, the silence straight away, then queued, and that would have got the Pantheon out of that situation ever so slightly quicker. I think here now though you got 2 people. You can sandwich these guys effectively. Here I'll just throw a heal on the Pantheon, and then I would ping on these guys here. The Zyra's on low HP. It's a shame you don't have your silence, but you're gonna have a Q up in a second. So you want to play around this, and then you probably want to get the exhaust and Jhin if possible. I think you tunnel vision on just because you can see the Lux on low HP. But if you see the minimap, you've got Jinx wanting to come in from here, and then if you kept them here long enough, Jinx could easily clean up here. One of you might die for it, but then you can get 2 kills. Here you might not get anything. Okay, you still know that Jinx is coming in from behind here, now she's actually kind of stranded. I don't think you can do anything here. In theory, you can't do anything here. You got to try and move closer towards, though, if possible. Oh no, Jinx could kill the Zyra there. That's a shame. But yeah, it's a shame you didn't see the Jinx coming up as well, because you definitely could have sandwiched these guys in together. It could have been a double kill. Or at least 2 kills. Alright, at this point you need to start thinking about what's like the next easiest objective you can take. The Udyr has Herald and took Herald a while ago, so that's probably the next kind of thing going to happen for them in terms of their next easiest objective. The next easiest objective for your team is even the mid or the top tier 1. I think you just need to prepare for their easiest objective and get ready for the Udyr, so just prep for that and just try and, since you know the Udyr's mid, just prep around the mid and try not to move too far away from that because it's likely where they're going to use the Herald, since that's where your last tier 1 tower is. Yeah, and because of that, I'm not sure why you're roaming bot side. That's a shame. Your time here has effectively been wasted. Yeah. Because it's not always just about what kind of thing is easiest objective for you to take. It's also based on what you got to think about what the enemy team is going to do as well. And you need to prepare for that as well. So their Herald will have to be used at some point, and it's likely going to be mid, so that should be your priority. And being around mid more often, getting wards around that mid as well, the flanks and things like that covered as well. Which you kind of have to. You've got 1 ward here and 1 ward there, but having 1 ward in the middle of the lane as well helps a ton, especially against champions like Lux as well that will fire out skill shots from the Fog of War as well. And also you'll be able to see the Herald cast probably a little bit earlier as well, just to give your team a little bit more indication when it's going to happen. Not much to note here. Just try not to get caught out by anything else. You don't want to be in the front line here, even just to do harassment, you just need to be super careful. Okay, so Herald just got popped and it's going towards bot side, so that's fine. Their next easy objective though is probably still going to be mid, and to be honest, tier 1 mid is kind of your focus as well. So it's probably going to turn into like an ARAM style game, which probably works in your slightly favor because you guys have been getting picked off constantly, especially with the Lux and the Zyra as well. So maybe being grouped up might be better anyway. In terms of your build, I'm still not sure what you're going for here. This should be... CDR boots is fine, we talked about that earlier. Frostfang's fine. Seems like you're going Rylai's or Liandry's, which I highly disagree with. You should be going, at this stage, you should be going things like Redemption, and then you could go Ardent Censer for the Jinx later on. Because yeah, Jinx hasn't been doing too bad. Considering the level 1 situation, she's actually been doing okay. And she really does need that extra attack speed to get going as well. So the Redemption will help out a little bit. The Ardent Sense is okay. Unholy Grail could be an okay option as well, considering the amount of AP they've got on their team as well. So Unholy Grail wouldn't be a terrible take either. But I personally would go Redemption into Ardent Sense. I think this is a little bit greedy from what my perspective onto what you're doing here. Okay, you guys get to kill Uda, you killed off the Herald. You need to rotate back to mid though. Also another thing, you need CDR as well. You can't just go like Rylai's and Leandros as well, because Soraka really does need CDR. Especially with ult CDR, it's pretty long, it's 2 minutes long as well. So if you get 40% CDR, that's already whacked down a crap ton. I mean, that's already 10%, I guess, isn't it, from your GP5, so someone would have to do the math, but you could probably bring that down to around about closer towards 90 seconds with 40 to 45% CDR. It's not a huge amount you can do here. Even coming across here is extremely dangerous. But you're gonna get a kill though. I'm actually impressed by that. That was super dangerous at the same time. That's pretty ballsy of you to do that. Actually, I want to watch that again. Yeah, wow. I mean, in theory, even the Zyra here should root you. The root missed as well. So yeah, you should have died there. But that was super ballsy of you to do that. The emote BM, it's worth it. And Jinx actually gets the kill as well with the ulti. But yeah, that was super risky. I wouldn't advise you going across there with a Jhin with double buff. And a Zyra right there. You're not going to be able to chase down the Garen at this point. How much money are you on? You're on 1,800 gold at this point. You definitely need to go back and buy. So yeah, I'm probably slightly in the way here, but I just want to show you guys the item build from the Soraka. Actually, what we can do is we can move the Soraka up higher. And if I lean away, there you go, you can see it a bit better now. So she's got the oracles and she's got the ruby crystal, tome and lasting one. Now what happened? So it says that you know that Uda's coming in and doing your red buff. You're circling around here. I guess you got a red ward there, so it's okay for you to come through here. Your main concern is that Uda's going to try and escape to this blast cone here. It might be worth just attacking it. Okay. Good. You guys managed to clean up. Should be going back now. How much money are you on now? 2,000 gold. So that's a huge chunk of gold. You really need to go back though. This is overstaying to the max. You had no reason to die there with 2,000 gold. At least your team has managed to pick up a couple of kills from this, but I'm just going to fast forward until you get involved again. Okay, you've respawned now. You lost tier 2. You finished buying Rylai's and now you're going for Forbidden Idol. Try and queue the minions a little bit here just to clear out the wave. Good save there on the Pantheon. should be following the Pantheon here though, because you should have healed the Pantheon there as well. You could have saved Pantheon there. You're gonna die for that, yeah. You should have followed the Pantheon in and kept healing him a little bit more, and yeah, a little bit too much priority on the enemy rather than your own teammates there. Yeah. Did you have ulti there as well ready? Let me just check. No, I think your ulti was on cooldown, right? Yeah, it's on cooldown. But it looks like it'll be ready very soon in about 7 seconds. So if you had the more CDR from the redemption build, and you would have another forbidden idol, so your ulti would have been on off cooldown at that point as well. Okay, well, then you've respawned. You've got your ulti ready. Looks like you are heading towards the redemption this time. At this point in the game, I wouldn't recommend just using your silence now to harass. You're going to need the silences to try and counter their engages rather than using it for harassment. I think using it through laning phase is perfectly fine to pick up those gold stacks, but I think you need to be a little bit more careful about your E usage, your silence, because it's just becoming a waste. Also, I don't approve of going 5 points in Starfall. I think going a couple of points, it may be in lane to harass, even in the Q or E is fine. But you should be putting more points in W once you start getting around about level 5 onwards, because like Soraka's heals are insane. And the enemy team doesn't even buy Grievous Wounds. Like if Bronze, Silver, Gold, they don't even buy Grievous Wounds, and even sometimes in Diamond they don't either. Heal on Soraka is the most powerful thing on her. And you should be prioritizing that a little bit more than going some sort of like off meta DPS build. Yeah, I think you're just going too greedy, and I think you've probably possibly got it in your mind as well that you need to do damage to be able to carry these, whereas honestly you don't. Okay, you're coming back out now. I want to see you use your silence there nicely in the stroke point. Do you still have your silence up? Wait. Where did you use your silence? I want to follow this. Okay, so you had to use your ult earlier. That's fine. So you've got exhaust. There's a massive choke point here, and if you can get a good like circle here, that will prevent a lot of them coming through here. I want to see where you silence. Where does that even get used? I can't even see it on the screen. What? I'm super confused. Where is the silence? That's it there. It needs to be more involved in the middle here. And also once the silence pops up as well, it will root the Udyr if he's still chasing in as well. Plus that route would have been really nice as well for that Vel'Koz ulti as well. Get a good Q in there, but you need to also heal the Jinx here as well. Yeah. You need to go back to top side, and also you need to tell your teammates that the Garen's there. You've noticed it, but I don't know if any of your team are coming here. You can't solo defend this. Garen can kill you. Yeah, you can't go into melee range of Garen. That's a massive disrespect there. I know you're probably annoyed there that your teammates should definitely be helping you there, but you can't do that. You literally just walked into Garen and gave him a free kill for nothing. But yeah, your teammates should be helping you there, but it's not the right thing. You're not. You gotta respect the fact that you are Soraka at the end of the day, and the Garen is incredibly fed. You can't just walk into him like that. Speed up the game a bit. I want to see control wards as well. I don't think I've seen a single control ward, actually. I've just noticed. Let me move the Soraka up there. I haven't seen a single control ward from you all game. Maybe you did by one. But at this late stage in the game, when you got Barons and Elder Drakes and things like this, and your jungle has been completely taken over, you need to have some sort of control, like security that you can get from your base from around about here to over here to have an even chance of sealing Baron. Okay. Need a little bit more on the vision control urgency. Yeah, considering you have maxed Q a lot, I'm missing a lot of Qs. Thank you for the tier 1 sub, Glow now. Appreciate it. Welcome to the Berry Bush, dude. Yeah. I don't see the amount of benefit that you're getting either from putting 5 points in Q as well. I don't believe it's worth it either. Once again, you're getting really close here to the Uda. That was super close and unnecessary. You need to keep your distance a little bit more as well. It seems like you might be accidentally walking into them rather than doing it intentionally. Okay, big fight coming up here top side. You haven't got your ulti. I think you need to prioritize on... Whoa, 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 whoa. You walk way too much, like really close to the enemy. You're gonna get dunked here. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop it here because I think we're walking into the same sort of things now. Okay, so let's evaluate what's happened in this game. Okay, so generally on Soraka you are landing your skill shots at a pretty decent rate, particularly through laning phase, which is probably like the main thing about Soraka during laning phase, is actually landing your Q and your E. I think you're going a bit overkill though on your build in what you're maxing here. I don't think that you going ignoring leveling W past 1 is you really need to get points in W. Going a few points in E early is fine. I would recommend E rather than Q because it's instant burst damage, and also you're going to need that silence cooldown later into the game as well, because silence is pretty strong in a lot of cases. So I'd recommend, like, if you do want to get that extra harassment damage, go Q or E level 1. Generally Q is better though, and then you go E, and then you can just put a point in W level 3 or level 4. Get to about level 3 on E, I'd recommend, and then put points in W from then on. I don't like your build. I think your boots choice is fine. I think Merc Treads as well would be decent as well. I think leaving it Frostfang as well is fine. I don't believe the Rylai's has served any purpose this game whatsoever. I think if you had that redemption earlier, plus some more CDR with a Ardent Sensor, I'd probably go Ardent Sensor here for the Jinx. That would be pretty nice. So something to think about. Also the CDR as well that comes in, and Ardent Sensor does have a tiny bit of AP as well. The control wards, you need to buy them a little bit more often as well. You need to make sure you're not walking into the enemy so much. This isn't even like accidentally walking into a death brush, it's just you're just walking into them kind of thing, and then doing a spell at melee range and then walking out. That needs working on. You need to work on doing more max range spells or mid range spells. You definitely shouldn't be melee as Soraka. A little bit more priority on healing your targets, your friendly targets as well. Like for example, the Pantheon died in the jungle here when he didn't need to. I think you've got it. You're in your mind. I think in your mind you're focused on. You feel like it's coming across that you're trying to do as much damage as possible to carry, when it's not at all the case. Just try and play a little bit more smart. Just land your spells at a safer distance and just keep your teammates up, because the strongest thing about Soraka is just purely her heals, not her damage. People having to force to buy multiple grievous wounds just to mitigate your heals is the biggest thing on Soraka. So just bear that in mind. I mean, only Desira's only just picked up Umbrella Nomicon at this point, and no one else on their team has any grievous wounds as well there as well. So a little bit more emphasis as well on healing for sure. Also, once you get to mid game onwards, try not to use your silence so much for harassment. I know it can be tempting to do it sometimes, but you need to save those silences for when those bigger team fights come up, and if it's on cooldown, that can be game changing. I think that's everything, and hopefully that summary helps you out a bit there. Hopefully that helps you out, Satisfies Jellyfish. I think your mechanics are probably, apart from walking into the melee range, is probably around about gold. I think if you fix your build and take on some of the advice I suggested, I don't see why before the end of the season that you couldn't get to like get gold 5. I think there's potential here. Some of the you know when to recall, which I'm pretty impressed by, because that's usually one of the biggest flaws in low elo in particular. People just stay in the lane forever and not buy. Although that did happen to you once, didn't it, up the top side? But the laning phase back I was impressed by. But when you had 2k gold, you should have backed like a couple of minutes before that. But that's generally like a big hole as well in low elo, is overstaying way too long and not spending the gold you've actually got in your pockets. But hopefully that should help you out. And yeah, just keep those control words flowing as well through your build as well. Hope that helps you out, and hopefully that helps out any other people that are around bronze, silver, and are also playing Soraka as well. Okay. If you are interested in having your game coached, make sure you join Discord in the description down below and put your name, get yourself verified, and get your name down in the VOD reviews channel. Hopefully you enjoyed this.